Everybody. Welcome to live info share / Q&A. My name is Andrew Spirit, and I'm a psychic medium, energy healer, and spiritual development teacher. And I also do lives on Sundays on YouTube, just offering some free resources, general Q&A, topics of interest. So if you have any particular topics along the lines of spiritual development, whether it be meditation, healing, spirit guides, connecting with higher self, intuitive readings, how psychic mediums work, anything along those lines, please send me your suggestions. I'd be happy to cover specific topics of interest. For this evening, I just got the calling to share about shadow work, but particularly just getting into it from a more basic, easier perspective. Because shadow work often can be very difficult, very deep, unsettling, uncomfortable to do and to work through. So just through a series of synchronistic events today, I felt compelled to just offer another perspective or some suggestions to help ease into getting into your shadow work without if it seems too overwhelming, to sit with yourself and dive right into it and deal with some heavy stuff. I just thought another way of getting into it is just take a more slightly easier approach with the help of some friends, some like minds. So basically, like I said, what happened with me this morning is just a random text message to meet up with a friend for coffee. Led to a discussion about shadow work, among other things, which also brought my attention to something that I need to spend some time working on. I'd had a few hints and clues, messages passed to me from Spirit and other healers, but hadn't really set aside some time and gotten serious about it. So through the discussion with a friend this morning, some of the things we've been through and have to work through and learn through are very similar. And it brought to something that was in my subconscious that basically is linked to shadow work, that has to do with self-healing, fears, loving oneself unconditionally. There's a lot of things going on in our subconscious that we're not aware of because it's in the subconscious. And something just happened to be triggered for me this morning. And coincidentally, after I went home, made some lunch, sorted out a few things, I met up with another friend who also messaged me and ended up going back to the same place as I was this morning, just with a different friend, having similar discussions. And among other things, the topics, one or two topics from this morning came up again this afternoon. And I've literally just got back from that meeting, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago. So I just took it as a sign that I think there's an easier way to ease into shadow work, especially if you're not too experienced or familiar with it. And especially if it seems a little bit overwhelming or daunting. So another way that I've just very recently discovered to ease into your shadow work is through the help of some friends, like-minded friends. So if you are not sure what's underlying below the surface, or what you need to work on or heal within yourself, meet up with a like-minded friend, have an open discussion, share each other's perspectives, maybe things that have come to light, and something may trigger or connect with you that you weren't aware of previously, something you may need to work on, as was the case for me this morning and this afternoon. So as I mentioned, if shadow work seems a bit too overwhelming or daunting for you, try a more basic approach to ease into it a little bit more gently. Meet up with a like-minded friend, have some open discussions. Something will come up organically if you're open to it. So basically, don't have too much of a rigid agenda. Just start sharing ideas, discuss challenges, issues, be a bit open with each other personally, and If something is meant to trigger or connect or come up, it will. Just let the conversation organically flow. Try not to put a time limit on it. Just sit there and be with that space, that person, for as long as you feel the need. And at some point, something is going to be said or spoken. Something is going to register with you and become more conscious. It's going to reach your conscious awareness. And what I say is, once you are aware of something that needs healing, that needs working on, you're already halfway there. Half the job is to be aware of what needs your attention, what needs work, what needs healing. So if you have any questions about that, about the topic of easing into shadow work, feel free to post it now on the live. Or if you have other similar topics of interest along the lines of spiritual development, please recommend them. I'd be happy to cover them either this evening or on the next live. I do these lives every Sunday on YouTube, roughly between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you just subscribe to the channel, you should get a notification when the lives begin. You're also welcome to visit me on Facebook on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. It's always 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I channel psychic mediumship messages to some of the viewers tuning in. We usually have a lot of people that are watching the live, so no one is particularly guaranteed a message. Spirit just guides me to deliver messages. So that's Thursdays on Facebook. The YouTube Sunday lives are just more for info sharing, general Q&A. So if you have topics of interest, feel free to recommend, suggest them to me. I'm happy to cover more than one topic at a time. But this is just your opportunity to post any questions you have live, and I will share with you whatever I've learned, whatever I know, whether it's easing into shadow work, a topic for discussion now, or if it's about connecting with spirit, angels, how psychic mediums work, energy healings, intuitive Reiki, meditation, etc., anything along those lines. Please post your questions. I'd be happy to share what I can. Also, if you'd like to just know more about me personally and what I do, what my offerings are, you can visit me on my website, which is mediumblessings.weebly.com. So it's my Facebook page is also the same as my YouTube channel name. It's Medium Blessings Andrew Spirit. Google me or find my website, as I said, Medium Blessings with an S at the end, .weebly.com. That'll have more info about my offerings, what I do, some personal information about me. I offer classes, I do one-on-one mentoring, I do intuitive Reiki, and I also do private one-on-one psychic mediumship readings. So if any of that interests you, you're welcome to check that out as well. But for Sundays, it's just general info sharing, Q&A. You're welcome to post your questions live, and I'll answer them as best I can. If you're looking for some online Facebook community groups, you're welcome to message me about that too. Good evening, Sunil. Welcome. So as I've mentioned before, Sundays on YouTube is just general Q&A, topics of interest, info sharing. The Thursday lives on Facebook are for psychic messages. So feel free to join in for either of those. Facebook is every Thursday, 7 p.m. The YouTube lives on Sundays are between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I can't always go live the exact same time. So if either interests you, just join in, or if you subscribe to the channels, you'll get the notification when I go live. If you have any like-minded friends who are looking for an opportunity to ask questions about all the topics that I cover, any spiritual development topics, invite them to join in and or subscribe. Also, the previous videos should be available on my channel for a few weeks. I think they remain online for at least a few weeks. So feel free to have a look at the previous videos last week and the previous weeks. Some of the topics we covered before were connecting with spirit guides, angels, intuition, meditation might be one of them, I think, as well. So if you have a specific topic of interest in relation to spiritual development, please recommend it. I'd be happy to share in the following upcoming YouTube lives on the following Sundays. And please invite like-minded friends. So Whether you're interested in those or the psychic messages or both, just subscribe to either or both channels so you get the notifications. And I will stay online just for a few more minutes just to see if anybody does have any questions to ask. Like I said, feel free to post your questions on the live anytime. I'll do my best to answer. If there's something I'm unable to answer right away, I will find out for you and get that information to you. And again, visit my website if you would like to know more about me and my offerings, mediumblessings.weebly.com. So any questions, you're welcome to post. Please share on your social media platforms. Let anybody else know who may be interested in either live discussion, Q&A, and or psychic messages on Facebook, whichever that appeals to them. Suggestions on topics. Other examples could include spiritual tools of divination, working with tools, working with energy, any kind of energy healing or energy work. Feel free to ask or suggest. And I'll just... Okay, so we're not getting any questions right now, so I'll stay on a little bit longer. So if anybody does have questions, I know it's a Sunday evening and some of us are out doing our thing, trying to get the last few days of summer in and enjoying whatever we're doing. So I'll give it another minute or so. And if you can think of anything else pertaining to easing into shadow work, feel free to ask, recommend. I'm open to pretty much any topic around spiritual development. Anything non-religious, this is pretty much open to all. It's got nothing to do with specific religions. It's just open. So feel free to suggest topics for the next upcoming lives. Okay. Okay. Okay, last call. I'll be ending the live pretty soon. So any more questions, Sunil or anyone else? Spiritual development topics, meditation, energy work, connecting with guides, easing into shadow work with tonight's topic, or if you'd like to recommend other topics for the following lives. Last call. To see how we're doing for time. Okay, looks like no one has any questions for today. So to the few that joined in tonight, thanks for joining in. And like I said, every Sunday, roughly between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll do a live. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get the notification when the live begins. I can't always give a heads up. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Just ending off the live now, unless you have a quick question. The topic was easing into shadow work. I was just basically getting into or talking about easier ways to gently ease into working on self, doing shadow work. Maybe watch the replay just to get the first part of it. Something I personally experienced today that helped me become aware of things that were a little bit below the surface and gave me an idea of how to ease into shadow work in a more comfortable, easier way, working with like-minded friends and bouncing ideas off each other, sharing personal insights, information, so that things just organically get triggered or come up that once we're aware of, it makes it much easier for us to focus on and heal and work with. So if you have any questions, Joanne, or anybody else still watching the live, if you post them in the next few seconds or a minute, I'll be happy to share. Or if you have any other topics of suggestions for next week. Okay, thanks, Joanne. Make sure you watch the lives or just subscribe so you get the notifications when the lives do begin. Don't forget the Facebook lives on Thursdays at 7 p.m., Psychic Messages Live. Sundays is General Info Sharing, Q&A. My website is mediumblessings.weebly.com if you'd like to know more about me personally and my offerings and what I do. Or if you have other topics to suggest, to cover, as I mentioned before, healing, guides, angels, energy, psychic mediums, how they work, intuitive Reiki, meditation, anything along those lines. So how do I know where to start? Basically, what happened with me twice in one day, meeting with two separate friends, one in the morning and one probably this afternoon. I ended up at the same place twice today. We were just randomly sharing ideas and discussions, and something came to light that was a little bit below the surface for me, and I became aware of something I needed to work on. We were talking about things like self-acceptance, fear of rejection, not enough self-love, and certain things got triggered as we talked, and we found out that some of the things were very similar in what we were dealing with and facing with. And just becoming aware of things on a clear level is kind of like almost half the job done. Once you're aware of specifically what you need to work on, it makes it a little easier to start working on that. And I found with just having an open conversation with a friend or two, things just organically come up when they need to. So without trying, without having an agenda, I just thought we were just going to meet up for a coffee, have a general chit chat. And of course, when Spirit steps in, things just come up naturally, organically. And it was very insightful, very helpful, and very comfortable sharing with like-minded friends in a safe space that you trust. That helped me a lot. So now I have something very specific to focus on, especially since it's a lot more in my conscious awareness now. So I know what to do with it. So it was as simple as just answering two random requests to meet up. No agenda, no expectations. I didn't have a deadline. I wanted to do something else and go somewhere else and have some fun. But I just listened to my intuition and just things worked out. And I got some useful, helpful information. So now I need to know what I need to work on for myself. So that's a good start. And as for next week, you're wanting to know how to identify and work with your guardian angels, guides to receive messages. That's a great topic. So I'll be happy to go into that next week. I'm also happy to discuss 2 or 3 different topics in the same live. So if you join me live next Sunday, it'll be between 4 and 7 p.m. I can't tell you exactly what time, depends where I'm at next Sunday. But if you subscribe, at least you'll get notified as soon as the live starts. You're welcome to just jump in with your questions during the live. Remind me. We can cover more than one topic. We can do 3 topics. I don't mind. So I'm going to have to jump off soon. So last call for any other messages. Hope this has been helpful for some of you tuning in. And like I said, I'm open to other topics of interest. So final call before I jump off. Hope you all have a good week coming up and have enjoyed your weekend. Hope the weather's a bit more decent starting tomorrow. So till next Thursday on Facebook or Sunday on YouTube or both, feel free to subscribe to either or both channels, and look forward to sharing with you on new and different topics, whatever I can. Invite any like-minded friends who may be interested. And until next time, thanks for tuning in and watching. The previous videos should be online and available for a few weeks. So if you need to watch the replays, feel free, go ahead. And until next time, looking forward to connecting with more of you. Bye for now, and hope you have a good week coming up.